The prophecy of the ancients. Long ago, in the great kingdom of Ile-Ife, the land flourished under the rule of the wise king Adetokonbo. But as the years passed, the kingdom began to wither, plagued by drought, famine, and unrest. The high priest, troubled by visions, called upon the oracle of the sacred grove. Under the sacred moonlight, the oracle revealed a prophecy. Only Olofin, the king's eldest son, could restore the kingdom's lost glory. But to do so, he must embark on a perilous journey and complete the 7 trials set forth by the ancestors. Determined to save his people, Olofin sought his father's blessing. The king, though heavy-hearted, placed his trust in his son and gave him the staff of the elders, a relic passed down through generations. With the oracle's guidance, Olofin set off into the unknown, unaware of the immense trials awaiting him. The trial of the Whispering Forest. Olofin's first trial led him to the Whispering Forest, where the trees spoke in riddles, and unseen spirits played tricks on lost travelers. To pass through safely, he had to find the tree of truth, hidden deep within the woods. However, the spirits of deception tried to lure him astray with false paths and illusions. Guided by his intuition and the wisdom of the staff of the elders, Olofin resisted the voices that whispered doubts and fears into his ears. After days of wandering, he found the tree of truth, its golden leaves shimmering under the moonlight. A spirit guardian emerged, testing his wisdom with 3 questions about truth and deception. Answering each with clarity and courage, Olofin was granted passage, and the first trial was complete. The trial of the River of Souls. Next, Olofin arrived at the River of Souls, a mystical waterway that separated the living from the spirits of the past. To cross, he had to retrieve the sacred pearl resting at the river's bottom, but the waters held the memories of forgotten ancestors who sought to test his resolve. As Olofin dived into the river, spectral hands reached out, showing him visions of past rulers and forgotten warriors. They whispered their regrets, their failures, and their pains, trying to burden him with doubt. But Olofin, with a heart full of purpose, reminded them that the past cannot bind the future. With great determination, he found the sacred pearl and emerged victorious, the second trial complete. The trial of the Silent Mountain. Olofin's journey led him to the Silent Mountain, where no man had ever reached its peak. The trial was not of strength but of patience and endurance. The path was steep, and a fierce wind howled against him, but the mountain demanded silence, no cry, no word, no complaint. Days turned into nights as Olofin climbed, each step heavier than the last. His mind wavered, but he remembered the words of the oracle, only those who listen to silence will hear the wisdom of the earth. On the 7th day, as dawn broke over the peak, Olofin reached the summit. There, he was granted the mark of endurance by the guardian of the mountain, his spirit now fortified for the trials ahead. The trial of the Shadow King. The 5th trial brought Olofin to the domain of the Shadow King, a being of darkness who thrived on fear and despair. Many had faced him, but none had returned. To defeat him, Olofin had to conquer the greatest enemy of all, his own fears. As he entered the Shadow King's lair, the darkness surrounded him, taking the shape of his worst nightmares, his people suffering, his father perishing, his own failure. The Shadow King whispered, "Give in, Olofin. You cannot win." But Olofin closed his eyes and remembered his journey, the voices of the wise, the strength he had gathered. He summoned the light within him, declaring, "Fear has no power over me." The darkness trembled, and the Shadow King let out a wail as he crumbled into nothingness. Olofin emerged from the trial stronger, knowing he had conquered his own doubts. But 2 more trials remained before he could fulfill his destiny. The trial of the Guardian's Labyrinth. Olofin's next trial led him to the Guardian's Labyrinth, an ever-changing maze that tested one's sense of self. Legend spoke of warriors who entered but never found their way out. Inside the labyrinth, shifting walls and endless corridors confused even the keenest minds. As Olofin navigated through the maze, he encountered mirror-like illusions of himself, some weak, some powerful, some desperate. Each reflection questioned him, asking, "Who are you?" If he answered incorrectly, he would be trapped forever. Remembering his journey, Olofin declared, "I am the son of Ile-Ife, the heir of wisdom and strength." At his words, the illusions shattered, and a hidden path appeared. With newfound clarity, he stepped forward, completing the sixth trial. The trial of the eternal flame. For his final trial, Olofin journeyed to the temple of the eternal flame, where he was to retrieve the sacred ember that would rekindle the heart of Ile-Ife. The flame burned with the spirits of all past kings, testing whether he was worthy to lead. Standing before the fire, Olofin was engulfed in its brilliance. The flames whispered the wisdom of generations, weighing his heart, his resolve, and his sacrifices. If he was found lacking, he would be consumed by the fire. Olofin stood firm, embracing the flames as they wrapped around him. He did not waver, for he had learned that a true leader carries both the burdens and hopes of his people. The fire receded, leaving behind the sacred ember in his hand. With the 7 trials complete, Olofin returned to Ile-Ife. As he placed the ember upon the sacred altar, the land flourished once more. Rain fell, crops grew, and the people rejoiced. Olofin had proven himself as the true heir, and his name was forever etched in the annals of history. The 7 trials of Olofin had come to an end, but his legend would live on for eternity.